there, fellow hungry travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Strasbourg, France. And today we're going to talk about some of the things you can eat and enjoy when you come here to Strasbourg. Because I have to let you know, Strasbourg is not your typical French cuisine city. It's gone back and forth with Germany a few times over its history, and you can really feel that in the influence in the food here in Strasbourg and throughout the Alsace region, okay? And probably where you're going to see it and recognize it the most is the first thing I'm going to talk about. And that is saurkraut, which is sauerkraut. It's a special kind of sauerkraut they make here, and it's fantastic. And usually it'll come with 3 to 5 different meats, and usually they're pork-based, you know, sausage, some ham, maybe some pork belly, or the shoulder. I mean, it is really, it's a calorie bomb and it's a tummy bomb, but it's something you really should have when you're here. I know the House of Tanners is very popular with it, but you'll find it at a lot of the restaurants around town. And that's one thing you need to realize. Here in Strasbourg, most of the restaurants you're going to see are actually going to be Alsatian restaurants. And that's why it's really great to come here to try all kinds of Alsatian foods, but there's some that are really Strasbourgy when you're here, okay? Now, the next thing to have when you're here, and you'll see it all over the place, you'll think people are eating all this flatbread pizza, but it's not flatbread pizza, it's tarte flambe, or Flammkuchen, which is basically a flatbread pizza. I know I said it's not that, but it's the basic setup of it. And it's, you know, the thin layer of crust, okay? Then you've got a white cream, it's not cream cheese, it's a white creamy cheese, or maybe you have other cheeses on there. And they might put mushrooms on there, or ham, or onion is very popular. Onion's popular here in general, but you'll have that, and you'll see it all over the place. And it'll come at like this size. I mean, it's not a small portion, so if you want to share it with somebody, you can. And I think that's another thing that's really important. Here in Strasbourg, these aren't French portions, these are more Germanic-sized portions. They're big, so you're going to get filled up when you're here. So if you're wondering if you should get an appetizer, well, they're worth it, but amount of food-wise, you might want to think about sharing stuff with your friends. Now, another really filling thing you're going to have here is what's called backofen. And backofen is 3 meats. You're going to have lamb, you're going to have pork, and you're going to have beef, and there's going to be sliced potatoes underneath. It is just, it's another calorie bomb. I know my friend Jeff and I were here a few years ago together, and we both ordered it like 3 times in 5 days, so it's worth trying. But again, it is one of those heavy kind of influence from the Germanic side of things kind of foods when you are here. Now, if you're going for something a little bit lighter for a main course, you also have the Koch au Riesling, or the chicken cooked in wine sauce. It's amazing, like straight up amazing. The sauces you have on your meats here are fantastic in Strasbourg, but the one that's a traditional dish for here is the Koch au Riesling, and it'll have other names, just like, you know, chicken cooked in wine or whatever, but it is really, really good. And what's cool is you usually get to like choose your side dishes to go along with it. If you ever have seasonal vegetables, they do a fantastic job with seasonal vegetables here in Alsace and in Strasbourg. We're here during asparagus season, so yes, there's asparagus soup, there's asparagus on the side. You will love it, so get that. But if you want something a little bit more hearty because of the chicken and wine sauce, so get the seasonal vegetables, or you can get the spätzle, which is the noodles you can have here, which are really, really good. I had those last night. They were phenomenal, okay? Other things you can have when you are here, there actually is like a pork knuckle or pork shoulder you can have. It is so good. I had it yesterday, and you're going to see there's tons of fantastic restaurants around town. La Oignon was a good one we went to as well. That was recommended by a friend of ours that goes to school here. So you're not going to have a trouble finding restaurants, because on the weekends this place does get packed. During the week it's kind of dead, but not dead, but like Tuesday night it's easy to just walk in and get a place to eat. But on the weekends, like Friday at 4, this city fills up with tourists all weekend long. So make sure you're making reservations for dinner, and maybe even lunch in some places if you can on the weekends. Also, this is a very famous place for the Christmas markets here at Christmas time. So if you're going to be coming during Christmas, you definitely want to get a reservation for dinner pretty much every night during the Christmas season. Now, I know I've been kind of overdoing it with the heavy eating kind of stuff, but there's actually some nice desserts when you are here, or breads that are here. You have a lot of bakeries around town, so you'll be fine picking anything out from there. They'll be very tasty. But I think there's one thing, the Kugelhupf, you should have, and you'll see it around town in the bakeries. It looks like a bundt cake, but when you cut into it, it doesn't seem like a cake. It's more like a bread. If you ever had panettone from Italy, it's got that kind of consistency in the bread, but it's made with almonds and raisins in it, and then they put powdered sugar on top. It is really good. Our hotel, actually, we're here at the Hotel Suisse, is where we're staying. That's actually right there. They have it at breakfast, and you just cut yourself a piece, like a piece of bread, and it's really good. And it's also one of those things, if you're going to be visiting friends in other parts of France, buy that and take it with you as a gift because it's a nice gift to bring people. Now, if you're looking for kind of a smaller something to eat, you also have a lot of tarts here, okay? Tarte l'oignon, the onion tart. No, it doesn't overly taste like onions, but it's a tart. It seems more like a quiche when you order it, but it's got really fluffy eggs with it and the onions going through. My mom and I loved it when we were there, so you can have that. But the tarts in general, there's a lot of really good fruit tarts that are here, especially seasonal fruit tarts, okay? So we've had stuff that have rhubarb and strawberries and apples when they're in season, and it's really, really good. So go for the tarts when you're here. One of the more popular is the pear tart. You can get that when you're here, but literally any of the desserts, you're going to be good when you're here. It's fantastic. Now, since there's a lot of influence from the neighbors to the east, one thing we need to talk about is the beer when you're here. And there's a ton of really good beers from this region, so you can get really good beer here in Strasbourg. But my favorite kind of beer is Picon. And Picon isn't a brand name of beer. It's beer that has a shot of Picon, which is like a orangey caramel kind of shot, kind of bitter they put in your drink, and actually really sweetens up your beer, and it's fantastic. And so you can get that as well. You just ask for a beer Picon and they'll get it for you. Just Picon. They'll know what you want and what you mean, so that's really nice. But probably the most important drink when you have here is the Alsatian wines. The white wines here are unbelievable. Grand Cru is my favorite, but they have lots of different types, but you'll see a lot of Rieslings here, Pinot Noir. There'll be so many, all kinds of wines to have. But you'll notice the menus here in Strasbourg, a lot of them actually will say this is Alsatian specialty, this is an Alsatian specialty, or they'll have the little Alsatian sign next to it. And that's what's really cool about Strasbourg. They really help you to make sure you're enjoying the local cuisine, which is fantastic when you come here. And I gotta tell you, if you're coming here, you're going to eat well and you're going to eat a lot. So make sure you get out there and walk, you do all this stuff. Maybe you go up to the top and get the view from the cathedral, but yeah, the food is heavy, the food is fun. If you want to just go grab some drinks, there's some Bierstube, and there's also Windstube, so beer houses and wine houses you can go and try the beers and the wines. So yeah, you'll have a good time when you're here, and you'll understand why so many tourists come here and grow in their love for the city, but also grow in the waistline when they're here, because there's so much fun stuff to eat. Anyway, if you want to learn more about coming to Strasbourg, on our travel channel, we've got the Don'ts of Visiting Strasbourg. Also, for things here, we got more advice on eating things in Alsace and other parts of France. So say bye, and don't forget to subscribe to Wolters World Eats. Thank you.